Welcome in, Team 19, Stevenson Patriots.
Yes.
9-0, number one overall seed in 8A. My pick.
Your pick for 8A.
To be the state champions in 8A. Like I said, undefeated. This is a team that we saw play Lake Zurich in Week 6, and it was a dogfight. Mm-hmm. This was a great game. That was our doubleheader night.
Yep.
And so
Crystal Lake South, Jacob
got there for the second half, and it was an unbelievable second half. I guess I was sort of indifferent on both those teams for most of the time we were there. Mm-hmm. But then, and I mean, they're obviously both good, but nothing really was sparking for me. But then, down late, Stevenson, Kevin Earl put together a 2-minute drill, which high school quarterbacks don't put together 2 minutes, at least not as effectively as he did.
No.
He was super impressive. Steve Salata, his go-to wide receiver, was...
Is that 83?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was...
I only say that because there were several times when we were at that game, and like your back was turned, and you hear that it was a completion. You're like, it was 83, wasn't it?
One time we were walking on the other side of the field with the camera trying to get a different angle, and someone came down that I was like, bet you was 83. We got to the end and there was 83.
83 hitting the ball back. That's his go-to.
And it's nice to have a go-to because especially as long as you spread the ball around throughout the course of the game, the defense isn't going to be thinking about doubling him in crunch times. And you're like, he's gone to the running back, he's gone to the tight end, he's gone to this, he's gone to that receiver, so we got to make sure we cover everybody. And that's when your go-to guy's dangerous.
Yeah.
And he certainly is. And they can also run the ball. Joe Casada, pretty balanced attack. And they've been up against him, not only in that Lake Zurich game, in Week 8, they were down 21-0 to Libertyville.
Yeah.
And rallied to win 35-21.
See, having a team that comes back like that really says a lot about them. You're down 21 points. Most teams, they quit. They're ready to go home. They're ready to party. This team, put their heels in the ground, kept with it, listen to the coach. That's really important, too, because a lot of teams, your coaches will say, hey, we're still in this game, but, kids tune them out.
Yep.
But they listened to their coach. They stayed in it, a couple plays here and there, and, we see the outcome.
Yeah, and, I mean, Libertyville was only a 3-6 team, so you're saying, well, they should have beat them. And that's true, but like you said, not many teams can turn it on once you're down 3 scores at any stage of the football game. But they've certainly played good teams. The first 2 weeks, Highland Park, Lembrook South, both 5-4. Playoff-type teams, 42-7, 42-20. They beat a 6-3 Warren, 24-7. Beat Mundelein 42-0. So, again, this is a team that relies heavily on the passing game. We got 4 games in the 40-point range, 2 in the mid-30s, and then 2 games with 24. So they're at least putting up 3 touchdowns a night, and that's certainly something their defense can get excited about. We talk about how a defense can take the pride in shutting the other team out, but a defense can also go out there and play, not, lackadaisical, but relax, knowing, we can be aggressive because if we let up a big play, we still know our offense is going to go out and score some points for us.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to have a balance of both. You want your both sides of the ball to depend on each other and know that if you get in a grind that the other side can come and bring you out of it. And, Stevenson has that with both sides of the ball. They should really be set up for, a nice little run in the playoffs. Yeah,
and their defense did have 4 games where they allowed 7 points or fewer. So they definitely have gone out and put up a great performance before. And so if they really need it, they've definitely had to do it before and can do it again. Looking at the bracket, the 2 interesting things we've talked about South Elgin is what a shootout that could be in the second round. But then the real interesting one to me is the potential for a Stevenson Maine South quarter. And obviously Maine South, 2 straight state titles in 8A. They're definitely not going to give it up without a fight. And that'll be the real test, I think, for Stevenson. Obviously, they've played tough games before, but Maine South will be hungry and probably pretty angry because after they lost those first 2 games, no one really talked about them.
No, they stopped talking about them.
And so they think, even though they're back-to-back title winners, they probably think they have something to prove. And Stevenson, it's hard to say you're favored in a playoff game against the two-time defending state champions.
It is because, I mean, but this is the thing, though. A lot of the kids who are on that team weren't on that team necessarily.
Oh, certainly.
So it's it's just jersey only. That's and the coach. Those are the only thing that were there at the championship. So with Stevenson, just like I said earlier with South Elgin, if they get to that point, you got to knock off a good team. And though Maine South is not necessarily the same team that they were the last 2 years, Stevenson still have to go through them if they get to that point.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that the only issue in the back end, these are teenagers.
Yeah.
They may not. I mean, the coaches tell them, their quarterback's gone or their running back's gone, but the kids still remember. Well,
they still remember that.
That's still that jersey I saw hoisting the trophy the last 2 years.
Oh yeah, it definitely messes with your mind.
And so if they get past Maine South, I think that'll be a mental and emotional hurdle for Stevenson or really any team to knock off the defending champs. At that point, you're invincible.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do it. I think Stevenson, because of their ability to come back and score points in bunches and do it really in the clutch like we saw against Lake Zurich, I think that Kevin Earl is going to lead the Patriots to an 8A state title.
That's why if any team, I don't think a lot of teams want to go against Stevenson from that standpoint right there. They were down 21. They were down 21 points, came back. They have a 2-minute drill that effectively, works. So if anybody's playing Stevenson, they have to put them away and make sure that they're done. You can't let them. 3 touchdowns. You can't let them be anywhere close where they're still sniffing.
You better keep scoring.
You better keep scoring because they will come back. So that, what? If I was in Stevenson, that's good because it might be fourth quarter, might be 5 minutes left, but we're still in the game.
Yeah. So Stevenson, a very dangerous team in 8A, and definitely one of the favorites to hoist the trophy come Thanksgiving weekend. Next time, it'll be team preview number 20. It's 19 down, 6 more to go in our playoff previews here at IllinoisPrep.com.